Study Section 12, Educational Statistics. Introduction. For any country to compete favorably in the present world market, it is imperative that its educational system be well planned and administered. However, there cannot be any meaningful educational planning and administration without accurate, reliable, timely, and quality educational statistics. The purpose of the education statistics is to provide basic statistical information on education. The statistical information includes data on schools, enrollment, teachers, educational outcomes, and finances. In this study session, you will be introduced to the various sources of education data and the uses of the educational data. Learning outcomes for study section 12. At the end of this study session, you should be able to identify various sources of educational data, explains uses of educational data, educational statistics. Education statistics in Nigeria came from a variety of sources. The main sources of educational statistics are records of 1. Schools, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. 2. National Universities Commission, NUC. This is the coordinating body of the universities in Nigeria. The NUC requests for routine data from all the universities, private, state, and federal, and publishes data on them reflecting enrollments by sex, level, and state of origin, as well as graduations by sex and class of degrees. 3. Other statistics include that of staff, academic, non-teaching by gender, grade, and so on. It also collects information on universities' income and expenditure, equipment, bed spaces, classrooms, and so on. 4. Federal State Ministry of Education. There are departments within the state and federal Ministry of Education that collect, compile, and publish educational statistics. 5. Individual institutions where we can obtain the age and sex distribution of students, number of teachers, and other staff and their qualification, age and sex, number of classrooms to obtain student-teacher ratio and student-classroom ratio. 6. Education boards. There are special education boards and bodies like the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, State Primary Education Board, SPEB, now SUBEB, Nigerian Board for Technical Education, which caters for technical education, NCE, and polytechnics, etc. All these bodies have various forms of collecting statistical data within their jurisdiction of operations. 7. Local government. The local governments are expected to have information on primary schools as this is under their jurisdiction. Moreover, each local government is empowered to conduct school census in the local government. 8. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. This agency conducts census and surveys and collects and publishes educational data periodically. 9. International sources. The UNESCO publishes educational statistics that are often used for international comparisons. Uses of educational statistics. Broadly speaking, educational statistics lends itself to the following. 1. For administration purpose. Education is a large-scale operation and normally accounts for a lion's share of annual government budget. Detailed statistics are therefore required. Also, ministries of education and their boards or commissions are responsible for generating information on number of enrollment, number of teachers, other personnel, equipment, buildings, and finance. 2. For evaluation of the system. Educational data serve to provide a clear statistical picture of the operations of the system. Some of the questions that educational statistics seek to answer are: how large is the system? What type of education is the system providing? What is the growth rate, available equipment, student-teachers ratio, and so on? Available statistics helps to generate indicators for monitoring and evaluating the growth and performance of the system. These indices help to justify or otherwise the budgeting, the expenditure, and make future projections in terms of enrollment, employment, expenditures, and future development. In summary, educational statistics are used as listed below. 1. It provides an overall picture of the extent and working of the educational system. 2. To evaluate the performance of the educational system. 3. For planning and projections into the future of enrollment, teachers, supply, classrooms, library, and other equipment. 4. For planning the manpower requirements for the country. 5. To make provision for the physically challenged and educationally handicapped. 6. To expand access, especially in higher education. 7. For international comparison. Limitations. Like other systems, educational statistics have its limitations. There is the problem of index for international comparisons. There are conceptual definitions that vary from country to country, e.g., number of years spent in primary schools. If, for example, Nigerian pupils spend 6 years in school and those of Ghana spend 7 years, the primary school enrollment ratio may not be statistically comparable. There are delays in the publications of these statistics such that some are no longer needed as at the time of publication. There is a problem of secrecy, especially when it comes to financial aspect of educational statistics. Summary of study section 12. In this study session, you have learned that 1. The purpose of the education statistics is to provide basic statistical information on education. The statistical information includes data on schools, enrollment, teachers, educational outcomes, and finances. 2. The need for educational planning and the importance of educational statistics to the planning and implementation of educational policies. 3. National University Commission (NUC) is the coordinating body of the universities in Nigeria. 4. Education boards are special education boards and bodies like the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB), State Primary Education Board (SPEB), now SUPED, Nigerian Board for Technical Education, which caters for technical education, NCE, and polytechnics, etc. 5. The local governments are expected to have information on primary schools as this is under their jurisdiction. 6. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) conducts census and surveys and collects and publishes educational data periodically. 7. The UNESCO publishes educational statistics that are often used for international comparisons. This is the end of study section 12. Thanks for listening.